The possibility of time travel still remains a huge mystery to all of us. There are people who claim they have travelled back to the past. Some even claim they travelled parallel universes. The most common question that comes to our heads at the thought of time travelling is what happens if we change some of the events that had happened in the past. For example, what would actually happen if we travelled back in time and killed our parents? Would we die or disappear in that scenario? We do not know any of that, but we know that people who have claimed to travel the past or future surely have an interesting story to tell. There are also skeptics who believe all of this is just made up, but who are we to judge? If there are real people who can time travel, we truly hope they are doing their best to make our world a better place, if they have any impact on it, of course. Some of the time travelers actually offered various predictions to back up their own stories. Whether or not they are speaking the truth, we are probably never going to know. But it is surely something rather mysterious, and we enjoy everything related to mysterious. Bryant Johnson, a drunk man from the future. 2017 has been a year of many time travelers apparently. Various people have claimed to be a time traveler last year. Not many seem to be saying the truth though. One night, the police officers in Casper, Wyoming actually got called in order to deal with a drunk man who had been roaming the streets. This drunk man turned out to be Bryant Johnson, a man who claimed he actually came from 2048. According to his story, he is a time traveler who went back to 2017 in order to warn us about an alien invasion that is supposed to happen in 2018. His story is funny though. He said he wanted to travel to 2018, but the aliens got him completely drunk, so he ended up arriving 1 year earlier than supposed to. Luckily, his story did not really turn out to be true at all. His time-traveling experience was just an excuse to avoid public drunkenness charge, and he has been arrested. Noah, a Blowy man who came from the future. You probably have seen this young man who claims to be coming from the year 2030. A video has been posted on YouTube, shows this young man who claims that he knows a lot about our future. Noah claims that by the year 2030, the artificial intelligence would take over. He also mentions the climate change that would heat North America and cool Europe. According to his story, Bitcoin will become an acceptable currency, the electric cars will be completely reliable, humans would be already travelling to Mars, and we would have found cures for different kinds of cancers. One of the weird predictions of this man is the claim that Donald Trump will change his name to Iana Remicki after winning the 2020 election. There is no evidence for anything this young man had claimed. After getting the attention of people, Noah actually made another video in which he apparently took a lie detector test which confirms he was saying the truth. We say apparently because no one can actually see the lie detector machine in this video. No one can identify Noah from the footage. His face is completely blurred and his voice has been changed too. Bella, a lady who has a selfie from the future. An Albanian young lady named Bella claims she travelled to the future, year 3800. To back up her claims, she provided us with a selfie she supposedly took in the future. According to Bella's story, she was able to go to the future thanks to the Belarus physicist Alexander Kozlov. She describes the process of time travelling to be nowhere as cool as we think it is. She says everything turned completely black while travelling and that a high voltage passed through the entire body. When describing our world in the future, she mentions how bad it really is. She says that everything we know now does not exist in the year 3800. The robots have taken control over everything. The world is filled with robots, dead people, and rubble. On her journey, she claims to have encountered a killer robot, a robot that was capable of talking and communicating just as good as a human being. The robot asked her where she was from, but she never told him. People are very skeptical about Bella's story. According to her story, she took several selfies and pictures of the future, so it is really unclear why she never showed all of them. Aside from the pictures, her lipstick looks so perfectly applied on the picture that it is really hard to believe she had gone through such a chaos. Siberian unidentified man and his time travel to the future. Seems like robots are really something we should worry about. An identified man from Siberia claims he had travelled to the year 4040. Just like Bella, he claims our world will be completely dead by that time. According to the man's story, he actually worked in a physics lab in collaboration with another scientist. They built a time machine which actually took him to the year 4040. His experience is described as very bone-shaking. Half of the population was dead on our planet and the robots have taken it over. The story is rather interesting though. He adds that the destruction of humanity actually happened when the humans contacted aliens from another galaxy. These aliens were a lot older than humans. They lived longer and they had just come out of a war. They invaded our beautiful Earth and humanity experienced a super rapid development of technology thanks to their visit. In collaboration with aliens, we had created a massive computer that was actually made to control every robot and electronic device on the Earth. Soon afterward, the computer overtook humans in intelligence and turned all the robots against us. Describing this terrible time-travelling experience, the unnamed man claims he is aware of how unreal this story sounds, but he just wants to warn us about the dangers artificial intelligence could bring. Andrew Basiago, a lawyer with time-travelling experience. As strange as it might sound, this Seattle lawyer claims that he actually time-travelled too. Andrew Basiago not only claims he travelled to the future, but he also claims to have been travelling to Mars and the past. Andrew has some very interesting claims. One of them is his Mars travel back in 1981, together with young Barack Obama and William Stillings. Apparently, they were all involved in a Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, creating a time machine. He also claims that the project named Pegasus was actually active between 1968 and 1972. This project led them to the creation of real working time machine. Andrew claims he had used the time machine to travel back to the year 1863, just to listen to one of Abraham Lincoln's speeches, and he also travelled to the year 2054. According to his claims, the United States government frequently used this time machine to deploy various military units. Unlike most of the time travellers, Andrew did not provide us with any future predictions that are worth mentioning. John Titor, a time traveller from 2036. Back on November 2nd, 2000, John Titor posted a message on the internet. He claimed to be a time traveller who got here from the year 2036. His story is a little bit different than most. He claims he had travelled back to 1975, just to pick up an IBM 5100 computer, but that he also stopped by in the year 2000 for personal reasons. In order to prove his claims, John added pictures of his time machine, and he said it was all made by General Electric. According to his story, he was a part of a military unit who had been tasked to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer to debug a machine which had been used in 2036. There were many predictions made by this man. He mentioned there would be no Olympics back in 2004. He also said the West would completely collapse in 2005. At one point, he even offered to take some people with him to the future. But just like his predictions, that had never happened at all. John Titor completely disappeared in March 2001. Nothing of this has been confirmed, but it is interesting that he also mentioned many times that he actually altered our history. He claimed to have witnessed certain alterations to our history, and he, himself, watched opposing team winning a football match instead of the team that had actually won it in real. Hakan Nordquist and an older version of himself. Who would have thought someone could time travel by accident? A Swedish man, known as Hakan Nordquist, is the one who had claimed to travel in the future, the year 2042. His accident happened back on August 30th, 2006, when he actually entered his kitchen and found his sink to be leaking. After opening the cabinet under the sink, he reached into it to repair the leak. Apparently, this got him to travel to the year 2042. That was people who claim to have travelled to the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe for more videos.